So why is Pueblo the elite? Why is Pueblo's elite? Why are they hating on 1954? Why are they hating on this one particular year? My God. I mean, what the fuck did 1954 ever do to you all? So Dave Mynatt, he just wrote this letter, and he's, there's been a lot of letter writing. There's Nick Gardasar. I'm not for sure if Dave Mynatt is the elite or not, but I haven't actually heard anybody speak against the so-called Strong Mayor Amendment. So we're going to have a choice here in Pueblo between a mayoral form of government or keep the same city manager form of government. So the hatred actually comes from the 1954 city charter. So the 1954 city charter was enacted in that year, and in order to smash the 1954 charter, they must have a charter convention according to the charter, but they're not listening to it because they don't understand the rule of law, and it's going to be complete anarchy. So I want to talk a little bit about this letter, and then there's a couple points. He seems to be all over. He's not making very sound arguments. It almost seems like the elite have all joined together. They're like, yeah, we're fucking changing all this shit. We're changing all of this. And we're going to do it behind closed doors. We're not going to do it in a charter convention. We're not going to do it out in the open. We're going to do it in secret. And so that's the decision. Do you want the same government that we've had for 63 years? Or do you want them, the secret cabal, the secret elite, creating a government behind closed doors? Right? As soon as this election, an important piece of information that this letter mentions is that there's going to be a mayoral campaign the year after. So November 7th, 8th, whatever, the first Tuesday of November of this year is going to be the ballot question 2A, the Strong Mayor Amendment, Strong Mayor Week City Council. We already have a strong city manager, so do you want a city manager government or a mayor government? What's the difference? Will the mayor be more powerful than the city manager or less powerful? That hasn't been, that's not clear at all. And so I wonder what the actual motivations behind this is, because they're not doing it legally. They're not doing it legally. It'd be like if the city of Pueblo just said, okay, we're not going to abide by the First Amendment. From here on out, the freedom of speech is hereby banned, and cops are allowed to beat up old ladies and steal their purses, and let's just pass another law off the top of our head that, absolutely just goes against everything. It's just like, I compared it to a Monopoly game, but, yeah, so just allow cops to rob people. Let's ban freedom of speech, ban freedom of assembly, ban the right to bear arms. Soldiers can now live in your house. So let's just get rid of all the Bill of Rights, right? So they are doing something that on its face is just flat out illegal. You want a strong mayor form of government, Pueblo? Then you have to have a charter convention. That's the third sentence. It's like you motherfuckers didn't even read the damn charter. Have y'all read your charter? That's, that's where the body of law, constitutional law, all law comes out of the Constitution. And we have home rule here. We have a city charter, and so therefore the city charter is our Constitution. That is the law of the land. It's weird looking at the elections. They're trying to follow the city charter to the T when it comes to running these elections, but that's like on Section 7. Section 1 is we are a city manager form of government. We're council manager. So we have a city manager. That's our strong man. If you want who do you want to be mayor? Whoever you want to be mayor, just get your city council people to hire that person. So if you wanted Steve Noraki, he can't be the city manager for a year after he steps down, but after a year, he could be chosen, and then you got Noraki that's running this thing. So if you just want a strong man or woman, a strong person taking the reins, well, that's the city manager. We already have that. So logically, it doesn't make sense, and it's illegal. So Dave Mynatt, I don't know if you're actually the elite, but for my purposes, you are. Okay, Mr. Mynatt, okay, let's do what you want. So in this, he's sitting there saying, blah, 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 this and that. And then he's like, I like that other letter when they were shitting on 1954. And then he rounds up, he's like, we almost had 65 years of this council manager. We've had 63 years, so, I mean, I don't know why he's rounding up. That's a little petty on my part. But he says, our current leadership is not lacking in energy, ability, or desire. He also says that the city council is very good at representing its constituency. So city council is good at representing its constituency. Our current leadership is not lacking in energy, ability, and desire. But we need new leadership. Okay, what? That doesn't make any sense. The way this Mynatt, he boils it down to, he says, simply put, one represents one of 7 and then the other of the entire city. So he's saying that the mayor is elected by everybody, so therefore they're going to be beholden to everybody, versus the city manager who is beholden to just the 7 city council members. Now, that's, you know, I mean, it's not an at-large voting, so there's a kind of point there. That seems to be the only semblance of any logic out of this entire thing, so I'll address that. I'll give him some credit. The reason why that isn't the case is because the 7 is elected, so the 7 people come from us, and then they, you know, we put pressure on them to get us the city manager that we want. That is the way that it's supposed to work. So they're not representing just 7 people. The city manager isn't just representing the city council, but at least there's 7. At least there's somebody over the city manager, okay? So I guess that'll be the thing the mayor can do. The mayor can't be stopped unless we recall him, unless we undergo a huge recall effort. So if we undergo a huge recall effort, then we can kick out a shitty, corrupt mayor. But if we get this mayor and they're shitty and corrupt, and we throw out the city manager form of government, then we have no checks. There's nobody, we can't fire them unless we have that costly. So with the city manager, we could just fire them. As soon as we have a shitty, corrupt manager, we just fire them and get a new one. And it's that easy and it's that simple. 30-day notice, here's the reasons, and then hire somebody else. Within 60 days, you would have a new Fuhrer, and that gives us, we the people, all the power, all the power. So we actually have a check on the executive branch, and it's the legislative branch. And it's also illogical for a person who's running for a city council to limit their own power. Like, I'm going to be a city council person, and I'm going to be weak. Why would you be a weak legislator? If you're going to be a city council person, you want to be a strong city council person, you're the one that has to make sure the executive is being held in check. But with the mayoral system, there is going to be no legislative check. And that's, you know, that's what they're trying to argue, is that the mayor is going to be a stronger person than the city manager. And personally, I just don't see it. I don't think that that's the case. So he goes on, Mynatt, this Mr. Elite Dave Mynatt of Pueblo. I'm of Pueblo too. This is our city. This is our city. This is the conversation, right? So he sits there and says that the reason why we need this is because we need to have a robust conversation. A nice campaign, ideas are presented, the conversation begins, and then we pick out, you know, the best person for the job. But then he says we must accept that the person we select as mayor can't fix all problems. We must accept him. So he's already like, you know, softening the blow. It's almost like a warning. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. So watch out, Pueblo. The strong mayoral system is coming. And they're not going to fix all the problems. So, you know, so why are we doing this? Why are we changing every goddamn thing? And it's like, yeah, we're going to change the entire system of government, and it's not going to bring about any positive changes. So, automatically it seems like they're in damage control. They're already they're damage controlling right at the gate, you know, and they're off. And hold on, before we do this, I have some caveats. The list of unresolved problems is long, and even a person of sterling credentials and dynamic personality can't fix what ails us in a single year or even 2. So, okay, is that convincing me? Are you trying to convince me? So it's like, we must have a strong mayor even though he won't fix, or she won't fix everything. Okay, That's not a good argument to convince me. So starting November, an affirmative decision on ballot question 2A will permit a campaign for mayor shortly thereafter. 2018 mayoral campaign will begin. I didn't know that. So the language, this Dave Mynatt seems to know the language. I don't know where he found the language at because it's not on the city council. The ballot question isn't on there, but maybe the some of the minutes isn't on the websites. So there's also something else that he had mentioned. He had said that what was it? Specifically, he said the enabling vote. So we need an enabling vote. So he's actually like, you know, telling on himself. What is an enabling vote? An enabler, when you think of an enabler, that's a person who allows a domestic abuser to continue with their domestic violence or their alcoholism and enables them to continue to be an alcoholic. That's what an enabler typically is. I'm looking for exactly where he says this. I don't know. Enabling. I know it said it here. I know it. I'm going to read this whole letter just to make sure. You know, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So he's saying robust, engaged, single step. There it is. So we know that developing a positive vision for 2018 and beyond will be difficult, so it is time to consider choices. The choice most apt to bring change is a robust. That single step is the enabling vote in November. So enabling vote to enable the secret cabal to create this government in secret. What the fuck? Do what the charter says. You want a strong mayor form of government? Get a charter convention and then get your strong mayor. But you're not doing it right. You're not following the process, and it's going to lead us into a constitutional crisis. Only a small group clique, a small group of people is going to know what the fuck is going on. They're going to be the ones that say, we're the ones that dictate the rules. We're the ones that form this government, and this is how we see the government working. Well, what's your theory of government? What's your theory of, you know, life? What's your theory of everything? What's your theory of revolution and progress? Well, there's a lot of things that, you know, just strong mayor, you're just going to come in, and Chris Nickel, he's from Colorado Springs, right? So he doesn't even work around here. Of course he wants to change everything. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't see how the mayor is stronger than the city manager at all. This is being shoved down Pueblo's throats. And, you know, ultimately, that's what it comes down to for me, is a new government in secret or in the open. You know, the city charter would be out in the open. A new government, the strong mayor would be in secret, or just keep it the same, right? Reject the mayor ballot and we keep the same government that we've had the whole time. We got smooth city council meetings. We have water, we have roads, we have police and fire. So there are some things that are working in Pueblo. There are some things that are working. So let's, keep those things, those strong institutions, and then let's work on making the rest better. So that's what it seems like to me. And I want to go into this 1954 thing, but it's already 13 minutes. So that's just my reactions to this letter here. It's not a convincing letter. It almost seems like it's a warning. A lot of people have been, I'd say a handful, 6 people or so has written letters into the chieftain and said, strong mayor, yay, strong mayor. Strong mayor is going to be bad. Strong mayor is a bad decision. Constitutional crisis and anarchy, or straight up fascism for whoever the new fucking king is and whoever this new interim government is going to be. So, don't vote for a weak council. Any city council person that's saying they're going to be a weak city council person, don't vote for them. You want a strong city council person. You want somebody that'll go in there and speak up for your issues and get what they want, right? To be able to lead coalitions and to be able to not harass, but lobby, right? Lobby for the things that they want. That's what you want. That's what you want out of a city council person. So if you got a city council person that's saying strong mayor, weak city council, they're saying, you know, maybe that could be like altruistic. they're cutting their own power because, you know, who gives a shit about them? You're trying to tell us to vote for you, so you got to somewhat give a shit about yourself. And I guess that's it for now. Peace.